And thanks for joining us for another edition of Weekend Winners, proudly brought to you by 1 Equine. And we've made it to Inter-Dominion Grand Final night. What a program in front of us on Saturday night. 10 races, 5 of those features are Group 1s. The Inter-Dominion Pacing Grand Final, the Inter-Dominion Trotting Grand Final, Queensland Oaks, Queensland Derby, and the Group 1 Golden Girl. It is an awesome card of racing, 10 in total, and we kick off at 5 o'clock. It's been a whirlwind week, there's no doubt about it. This carnival in general, like the saying says, out of this world, and we look forward to what comes our way this weekend. Joining me, the boys are back with me, Ryan Spice, Darren, Clayton. Guys, barrier draws were done on Sunday, fields were finalised last Saturday night. Lo and behold, the two favourites both land the same draw, barrier 1. Leap to Fame in the pacing final, RC Phoenix in the trotting grand final. Ryan, I'll ask you first and foremost, what was your initial reaction to those draws?
Oh no, not again.
Okay.
for Leap to Fame. But the champ's he'll take it all before him, and we're going to see a really special performance, I believe.
Okay. Your thoughts after the barrier draws?
Yeah, a bit the same. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, perhaps good for the race. It gets us talking. Plenty of interest factors there. RC Phoenix, probably a little bit the same way. Everyone's saying, you know, it's not a good gate for him. Well, yeah, I can't see it being a bad gate.
You were at the barrier draw function on Sunday. There was a collective sigh when that little miniature cup was turned over and it had number 1 on it. It was quite interesting being in that room and hearing that sigh.
There was, and I shot a glance straight to Grant, and I don't think it was either joy or deflation either, but it was more just, oh, okay.
He'd be a good card player, I reckon, Grant Dixon.
He would be a gun poker player. Even when he discusses tactics, it's deadpan.
Yeah. Ryan, RC Phoenix, barrier 1. Are you going with that line of thought with Darren that there's no issues here, it's the perfect draw, he's been awesome in the heat so far, it's his race to lose?
I think he should be the clear favourite from the good draw. I believe he and Bet and Win are kind of evenly matched for gate speed, but I think barrier 1, to be hustled up, I think that's the challenge if he gets a little cramp for room. You know, they are trotters, you never know what's going to happen.
Let's talk about the big issue here tomorrow night at Albion Park, Leap to Fame. So he's chasing that slice of history. With victory in the Inter-Dominion Grand Final, he will surpass both Black's a Fake, I'm the Mighty Quinn and Lazarus. He'll become our all-time richest pacer in this part of the world. It's going to be a really special moment if he gets the job done.
Yeah, I have zero doubts that he will not get the job done. He's just such an amazing horse, and it's such a privilege that we have him here in Queensland and get to watch him through all of the majority of his race starts. Fingers crossed, we've got pack stands, and I'm really looking forward to inside the last 400 standing and roaring.
Yeah, and Darren, the fact that it's going to be on home soil, that's what probably magnifies this achievement even more. He's going to be here. This is his favourite track, his home track. Grant Dixon, Trista Dixon, they're Queenslanders, so that just makes it even more special that he can do it in front of his home crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, he owns Albion Park, 20 straight victories now. We go back to the Beagle Johnny Sprint of 2023, was his last time he was defeated here. You just look at his record, you know, just superb. For Grant and Trista to have it here at home, have their family here, the boys, and get out. We saw in the 2023 when he won, and the boys in the presentation. I'm sure they'll be there again, and it's pretty special to think that he's on the precipice of history.
Okay, it's going to be a big edition, this one, the Weekend Winners Inter-Dominion Grand Final edition, race-by-race analysis of all 5 Group 1 features. Before we take our first break, guys, one-word answers here, and I'll go to you first, Ryan. Will he or won't he lead from barrier 1 Leap to Fame?
I'm confident he leads.
Yes. Darren?
That's 5 words.
Sorry.
Yes.
There you go. So we'll dissect that in more detail a little bit later when we get to the Inter-Dominion Pacing Grand Final. Stay with us. This is Weekend Winners. We've got the big Group 1s to feature, and we're going to start with the Queensland Oaks in just a moment. The first of our features that we're going to look at is for the 3-year-old fillies, the Group 1 Queensland Oaks. And what an honour roll this features, because there's been some wonderful fillies over a long period of time that have been able to claim this big Group 1 feature. And I'm sure we're going to have another great name added to that honour roll tomorrow night. Will it be the Kiwi? Captain's Mistress, well, she's taken all before her so far during this Sunshine State campaign. Last time out, she was able to dominate against the older horses, taking out the Rising Sun Constellation. Many believe she deserved to be in the Rising Sun. Many believe if she started in the Rising Sun, the main race itself, she would have scored. Here she is beating up on the older rivals, scoring easily, leading from barrier 1 and then just dropping rivals soon after straightening and scoring well. So she is the clear favourite. She's odds on in most markets. She's got to overcome a second line draw, but she has been awesome so far during this campaign. 3 starts, 3 victories. First up, she was able to beat up on the older mares. She then went to Redcliffe, overcome a tough run from a tough draw, rated faster time than the boys that won the Derby that night. That was Ribera. And then she was able to score easily there last time out. She is clearly the horse to beat, Ryan.
Yeah, she's top shelf, isn't she, Chris? Come across with a stellar record. She's got better and better each start here on Queensland soil. She's a worthy odds-on favourite despite the back row draw.
Darren, when you look at this field, and you've had plenty of time to sort of dissect this race, it looks fairly obvious. Would I be right in saying that? Manhattan Chick, she was able to score in the Southeast Oaks. She lands the good draw here, barrier 1. Soho Americano likely to start from 2 if the emergency comes out. Most expecting her to probably push forward and lead. So that scenario then just leaves Captain's Mistress. Nathan Williamson's going to have to make a move at some point. But just to get that speed map right, do you think Soho Americano leads with Manhattan Chick in the trail?
Yeah, I think so. That does look the obvious. She's quick out, Soho Americano. And the way Manhattan Chick savaged the line in the Southeast Oaks will convert that back to the peg. She was wide out that time. So Americano, you would expect, would lead, get her to the passing lane. So just sets it up for that, I thought. And yeah, Nathan Williamson at some point will sum it up and whip around.
Okay, Ryan. Drivers like Grant Dixon, Cool and Classy, Josh Gallagher, Namaka, Will Ricks and Gunnar Reload, they've got wide front row draws. They're going to have to make a big decision at some point here, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's really tough drawn out 5, 6, 7 here to get forward from the 2100 metre start. So I think they're in a world of pain, and I think the map does look pretty obvious. Cool and Classy then rolls to the breeze. My one little question is, does the Kiwi filly, does she sit out the back and come with one iron, or she might pop around to the breeze herself and be there by the bell? So either scenario, I think sort of equal chance.
Yeah, and with Nathan Williamson, with that scenario, with Captain's Mistress, how long can he afford to sit back in the pack and just sort of, make his move, and when does he make the move?
Well, she's got such good high speed, so I think the options are there. If they really have dropped anchor, I'd inject her into the race.
Okay. Who are you going in this race? Are you with Captain's Mistress, Darren? How do you play this race with the exotics? Because it looks a great race to play exotic-wise.
Yeah, she's on top for sure. What she's done, beat the older mares, went to Redcliffe, beat them, beat up the older Colts and Geldings last time out. So she's on top, and then I would try and work out around that Manhattan Chicks, that fence trip, Cool and Classy. She's tapered off a little bit, but she's going to be thereabouts. Ruby Rules, and then throw in Soho Americano as well. So 11, 1, 5 and 8, and you could throw in the 3 for the second and third, I think.
Okay. Ryan, you're seeing it similar?
Yeah, the good Kiwi filly on top for me. I really like what Manhattan Chick did in the Southeast Oaks. She really knuckled down and hit the line hard. So from the good draw, I think she's a great place prospect. Soho Americano with Luke, I think she'll be in the van and dictating. Ruby Rules, pegs run. And I'm against Cool and Classy here. I just think she has had a lot of tough racing. Even though she's the New South Wales Oaks winner and she is full of class, I just think she's going to have another tough trip.
With Manhattan Chick, how much improvement do you think she'll take out of that Southeast Oaks? Like, that was her first go here in Queensland. She went very fast time winning down there in Victoria. Alex Ashwood has got a really big opinion of this filly, so it'll be interesting to see how much improvement from the Southeast Oaks to the Queensland Oaks. She's probably got to take it up a gear to match Captain's Mistress, but it'll be interesting to see how far she goes.
Yeah, and if you look at the performance spike that she delivered last start, if she improves off that, look out.
Yeah. Another question for you, Ryan, just with Captain's Mistress talking about the Rising Sun, how do you think she would have measured up in the Rising Sun? Given that she would have had barrier 1, being a 3-year-old filly.
The fact she dropped a 53.8 last half on the front end and really only got asked to sprint up the lane, with hindsight, looking back, I think she should have and would have jumped favourite. So yeah, probably goes very close.
It's becoming a really interesting race, that Rising Sun Constellation, because last year it was Millwood Bliss beating I Keep Smiling. I Keep Smiling's the best mare in this part of the world now. Millwood Bliss was then sold for massive money to North America, but that Constellation of the Rising Sun is becoming a very good form race.
Yeah, it certainly is, and attachment, he was massive in that as well. So a few of the Kiwis potentially calling this another underarm saga.
Okay, well, I'm tipping her to win tomorrow night. 11 on top for me. Captain's Mistress, Soho Americano. I think if she's in front, she'll get every chance. Manhattan Chick, I'm fascinated to see how she goes from last start to this race tomorrow night. If she makes another jump like she did last time out, she could be a real threat here, and cool and classy. I take on board what the boys have said. You know, it's been a tough campaign, but she's a tough type, and I think she'll race well. So 11, 3, 1, 5, Captain's Mistress across the board, and I'm sure she's going to be very popular in a lot of multi-action at this card tomorrow night. We'll take a break, we'll come back, and we'll look at the Derby very shortly. The Group 1 Ladbrokes Queensland Derby is set to be run as race 5, 7:22 start time. So this is the first leg of the main quaddie coming up at this meeting on the weekend, and this is a great race. This is loaded with class. The favourite is Hesitate after he drew the inside gate. He won the qualifier last week for Luke McCarthy. He starts from barrier 1. This is him winning the qualifier here last time out. He was able to find the front and yet again just produced a stunning last half, and he was able to score quite nicely, beating the former Kiwis Final Deadline, who lines up directly behind him in this race on Saturday night, and that's Strike'em getting to the outside. He is going to be the dominant favourite in the Constellation. Stiff not to be in this race in his own right tomorrow night, Strike'em. So Hesitate, he's off at the prize there and scores well. But as we dig deeper into this race, there's a school of thought that maybe barrier 1's not ideal. Maybe he can't run the trip. We're about to find out, because Ryan and Darren are going to pass on their thoughts. Barrier 1 Hesitate, favourite. Does he jump favourite? Is there a distance risk with him?
He has had his gating issues in the past, hasn't he, this horse? But now he's with the master Luke McCarthy. I think he's got him all sorted out. Cherry ripe, dropped a 53, 2100 metre performance on the front end there. I'm siding with him here from the good gate. Initially, I thought if Ribera drew a marble, he'd be the one and they wouldn't get past him. But now from outside the front row, I think that makes his job just that much tougher.
Okay. Your thoughts on Hesitate? From barrier 1, he's the favourite. Do you think he can win this race? Do you think he can lead this race? Do you think he can run out a strong 26.80?
He can certainly win it. I've got concerns about him holding up from there, potentially where that positions him in the run. If he leads us back and can get clear space by the lane, well then obviously he's going to be a huge threat with his closing speed. My concern just then is the 2600 and where he positions. He's going to get every opportunity to do it. So yes, he can win the race. Yes, there's concerns over the distance. The gate I don't think is that good. So he's there. I think the stablemate's going just as well. Mac Bon, he's produced some really nice performances, good early speed. It's tricky trying to work out how they line up. Like Ribera, I thought might have had more of a crack in the Rising Sun at the start, and he didn't. You know, from gate 7 now, you couldn't imagine him really having a good shot this time around if he did in the Rising Sun. So I thought Mac Bon probably gets to the lead, Hesitate gets the nice trip. Who gets the first sort of shot moving forward? Probably Path to Greatness. I thought he's the one that has to roll the sleeves. Jungle Dragon might have an early look as well, but he's probably up in class a bit here, so it's just where they filter through thereafter. Okay,
Ryan, the big question I've got for you, given that you've hinted that you're keen on Hesitate, have you backed him already? Do you think there's value in the price with Hesitate for the Derby?
Yeah, I've taken the 240. I thought the price was good from the point of view of the horses. Drawn barrier 1, 2600, pegs, Luke the master, you know, he's got the stablemate drawn in 3, so he has options. I think if they wanted to lead, I reckon he could be able to burrow through and hold. But for me, over 26, I'd actually rather see him sit on the stablemate, Mac Bon. And then from there, I think he's going to get every opportunity. I think Ribera has to roll forward and then keep the tempo into the race. So I think we will get a true staying contest. It'll be hot early. We've got Jungle Dragon drawn on the front line as well. And then we've got the real nice types like Jack's Ultimate Fury coming from out the back. So, yeah, great race. Good derby.
Okay, so that being said, if there's going to be a fair bit of early pressure, can he withstand that Hesitate? I'm not so sure. Ribera, I think they're launching. I think they got stung badly in the Rising Sun with their tactics there. And I think coming into this final Group 1 feature tomorrow night, I think they're launching from 7.
Yeah, and the one thing I have always sworn by is if you're caught breezing over 26, you're in big strife. So if that's how it plays out for Ribera and he doesn't find the front, I can't see him figuring.
Okay. Do you expect a genuine tempo in this race? Like going by what Ryan said, there's going to be a bit of action here.
Yeah, I really do think that the tempo will be strong, and I think that'll play into some of those horses running on. We've seen probably the best of Fade Awaits is when he is up near the speed, but probably haven't really seen him off speed back in the pack. Obviously he won the Rising Sun from the trail, so he got an easy shot at the passing lane. I think if Jack's Ultimate Fury gets that right card in, he's not too far back, that tempo's hot, well, he's the one I want to be on.
Okay, so is it going to be a case of cat and mouse tactics with those off the second row, in particular Jack's Ultimate Fury Fade Away? Who catches that 3 wide cover, and whoever's 3 wide 1 back, they're going to be in prime position?
Yeah, absolutely, and probably you want to be to the outside when the runs start coming at the 400, or when some of those other horses are starting to feel the pinch. That's when you want to be getting out and having forward momentum, not on the back of something taking you backwards.
Okay. You're tipping Hesitate?
Yeah, I'm with Hesitate, yes,
okay.
Absolutely. From the great draw, I think he's a vastly different horse now with Luke McCarthy. So I've never really been in his corner. In saying that, he was a stellar performance in the Protostar last year. I think he ran the fastest last half. It was off the charts. So I think he's fulfilling his potential, this horse now. Ribera, yeah, I wish he did draw a gate. He would have been the best of the night. And the Sydney Visitor, Jack's Ultimate Fury for me for third.
Okay. Darren?
Yeah, 9, 1, 10, 13. Jack's Ultimate Fury, like I said, if he gets the right card into it. Hesitate, he can certainly win it. Fade Awaits, don't discount him. He's a great 3-year-old. And See the Stars doesn't draw well, but if they all do go to war, well, he can just come with that last shot at them.
Okay, I'm sticking with Jack's Ultimate Fury. I liked him in the Rising Sun. I'm going to stick with him. I think they're going to be really strong to hold out at the finish here, Jack's Ultimate Fury and Fade Away. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see who gets that perfect track up 3 wide. But I'm going 9 to beat 10. Ribera, the Kiwi. I think they won't leave anything in the tank there tomorrow night. And Mac Bon, I think he'll race well. I'm opposing Hesitate, as you can probably tell, but we'll wait and see. Couple there that I wanted to ask about. Ryan, your thoughts on See the Stars? He was able to win that Southeast Derby. How do you rate him? I know the draw is right against him, but how do you rate him?
I think it's very tough from that gate this week. I think he's a nice type. I probably got him wrong last time in the Southeast Derby. I certainly mapped him to be leaders back and getting the beautiful trip. I just wasn't sure where his ceiling was.
Okay, and final deadline for you. He's drawn directly behind the race favourite Hesitate. He's going to be fitter after that first up run last week. Do you give him some sort of hope?
Well, if Hesitate does boot through and hold the lead, well, then his stocks will exponentially rise, won't they? Because he'll be right on the back of the leader. It'll just be, if that under that scenario, well, then Hesitate's got to run the trip to get him the space.
Even 3 fence though, he can be a threat?
Second up, he'll certainly take improvement, you would think. Settled in Queensland after arriving from New Zealand. So yeah, you'd expect him to be on an upward trajectory.
Okay, it's a terrific race, the Queensland Derby for 2025. A lot of chances, and as I said, that's the first leg of the main quaddie, so it'll be interesting to see how many we're putting into that first leg a little bit later. We'll take a break, we'll come back, and we'll look at the Group 1 Golden Girl in just a moment. Race number 6 on the program, the Group 1 Garrard's Golden Girl. What a race this is going to be tomorrow night. Now, the favourite clearly is I Keep Smiling. She was dominant last week, taking out the final lead-up race, which was the Fleur de Lille. She lands a perfect draw here, gate number 2. She's got speed to her inside with Tay Tay. She's got speed to her outside with Steno. but she was so strong winning this race last week. That's Chinchilla, the ill-fated Chinchilla in front, and I Keep Smiling was forced to do a lot of work, and when the chips were down, she had to call on all those reserves, but she was able to hold off the fast-finishing Steno. The winning margin was ahead here in the end, and she goes into this feature as the clear favourite. No horse, no mare has ever gone back-to-back in the Golden Girl. Can she be the first to do it? Well, we're about to find out tomorrow night. This is going to be a good race. Over the mile, they'll run fast time. Ryan, I Keep Smiling. The big talking point about this race is the gate speed, how they sort of land in that first 200 metres. Most think because she's the favourite and a dominant favourite, she just gets an easy lead, but I don't think it's that clear cut.
No, I'm firmly in the camp that she's left to breeze here, whichever way it plays out. If Tay pings out and leads and holds, or if Steno crosses at the start, I don't think there's a lead there for I Keep Smiling this week, and she's going to have to earn it from the breeze.
Okay, so that just flips the race on its head, doesn't it? Because if she's parked out and they're running supersonic time, which you would assume and expect, this is going to take one sort of performance to get the job done.
Yeah, we saw her have to dig deep in that Fleur de Lille run. She probably has to dig deep again. I'm not sure whether she does have to park out on this occasion if Tay holds the front, but yeah, either way, I Keep Smiling is going to need to really be at her best, but her best is probably better than any of these, and that's the big difference.
Yeah. Connections are stating that they want to hold with Tay. How do you sort of see it? Do you think she can lead, or do you think the Perth mare Steno can get across and lead them up?
Yeah, when I analysed the race, I thought Tay-Tay's best winning hopes would be to sit on Steno and let I Keep Smiling have to do all the bully work from the breeze, and then she's got the last shot at them, Tay-Tay. That was my analysis of the race. Wait and see how it plays out, what they actually do. Really high quality mares race at that pointy end. I think it sort of thins out pretty quick from there. And Luxa Turner's going to get a nice cheap stalking run as well, so she's a live top 3 hope as well. Okay,
Steno's yet to beat I Keep Smiling. Every time they've clashed, I Keep Smiling has her number. Can she get it right tomorrow night in the Group 1? I'm not sure how many more starts she's got left in her, Steno. This could well be her final race start tomorrow night, so can she go out with a Group 1 victory?
Yeah, look, I think she certainly can. I'm tipping I Keep Smiling because she's just been so dominant, but from a wagering point of view, I'd rather have a win ticket on Tay-Tay and Steno than take the very skinny quote I Keep Smiling.
If Steno was drawn inside of I Keep Smiling, are you sticking solid with I Keep Smiling, or is there a lean towards Steno if she had it drawn inside her?
Oh, you'd definitely weigh it up. I'd probably still stick with I Keep Smiling off the back of her strength, and like you said, Steno's yet to beat her, so you'd factor that in as well, but she gets a chance.
So how are you mapping this? Are you Tay-Tay in front at the bell or Steno getting over?
Yeah, Tay-Tay in front. Not only are the Connections keen on that, she hasn't had a decent gate for a long time. Very rarely draws a good gate, so from gate 1, they've got the opportunity to use it here, and I can see Steno firing out, even Riley Rainbow having a good early dip because she moves in one gate with the scratching, so you know, you'd be wanting to get forward because that'd be the best place to be in this race. So I thought Steno probably just gets repelled. If I Keep Smiling, just not quite as pinging out off the arm as those other two, a little bit wider, she might end up sort of 1 by 1, 1 by 2 rather than having to sit parked.
Riley Rainbow's an interesting horse here because if they go back, her chances are gone. Yep. So they've just got to take their opportunity and
well, this is their opportunity because she's a 4-year-old mare, the Golden Girl, sort of options for the rest of the season. Probably she'd have the Q-bred triad in August. Outside of that, she's probably got limited opportunities in her grade. So yeah, roll the dice, have a shot.
All right, so fireworks early here.
Yeah, I think though with Riley Rainbow, I think they'll look to slot in. I think she's just lost a yard of gate speed in her last 12 months of racing. So yeah, I don't think she can. She can't cross them. Put it that way.
Okay, your thoughts, your selections here for the Golden Girl?
Yeah, well, I'm tipping I Keep Smiling on top just because she's that logical, dominant player. But yeah, I really do give Steno a red hot crack here. If she can lead, dictate, park them, yeah, if she can definitely run a race. Tay-Tay and Luxa Turner, I don't think whichever way the first 4 combo lands, I don't think it's going to pay too much.
Yeah, I was prepared to tip Steno if she drew inside of I Keep Smiling. I think that would have been fascinating to see her in front, and I Keep Smiling chasing her. She may be in front, and I Keep Smiling may have to chase her anyway. But yeah, I'll stick with I Keep Smiling because she's got that barrier draw edge, 2418, and it looks like we're all singing from the same hymn book.
2418.
Okay, so there you go. That's the Group 1 Golden Girl. That starts the Tab Treble coming through on Saturday night. It promises to be a good race. I'm expecting fast time for the mares there. Over the mile, start time for that race at 7:55. The Inter-Dominion Trotting Grand Final comes up as race number 7. This is going to be the third Trotting Grand Final staged in Queensland. The first all the way back in 2001, taken out by the Kiwi. Take a moment, 18 months ago at the end of 2023. The recently retired champion Just Believe conquered Queensland, sweeping the series, and another great name is going to be added to this great race tomorrow night. The big winner at the barrier draw function on Sunday was the Victorian RC Phoenix. He landed the inside gate, but this is a race that looks really deep. This is in stark contrast to the pacing grand final. You can make cases for several good trotters here, and I think it's going to be fascinating to see how the boys pull apart this race. Let's just go back to last week, round 2, night 2, and this is Bet and Win. This was a very clever drive here by Bob Butt. Darren Clayton half predicted this last week as well, that he might look for mid-race cover. He nailed it, and that's him scooting through on the inside, blazing past London to a brick, and Gus out wider running in third. So that was the first heat there last Saturday night. Let's have a look at the other heat from last weekend. Parisian Artiste out in front, and he was rolling. He was trucking last week. His time significantly faster than that of Bet and Win. His last mile significantly faster than that of Bet and Win. And it wasn't far outside of the track record, which is held by Just Believe. There was so much to like about that performance. He's actually pulling away from RC Phoenix, who was very good running second, and charging down the outside to pick up third there in that race was Love Gun. So this has drawn together a really good field, Ryan. I'm fascinated to see how you sort of see this race. RC Phoenix, though, the big winner, landing the inside draw.
Wonderful final, such great depth. Pre-series, I was really on the fence. I thought there was 5 or 6 winning chances, and here we sit on the eve of the final, and I really feel the same. One big takeaway from me last week, the re-emergence of Parisian Artiste now as a major player. So once RC Phoenix and Bet and Win sort themselves out early, after they have their big tussle from a gate speed perspective, I think Taylor French has got a big decision to make. I think she needs to go and ask a big question of whoever's in front. Yeah,
I tend to agree. He was awesome last week, Parisian Artiste. And just with this final field, Darren, they're all there, aren't they? All the big names made it through. We were thinking, maybe not for London to a brick. There was big concern about Oscar Bonavina, but he got some bonus points, which elevated him up the leaderboard and got him into the final. So all the good horses that we were hoping for eventually got there.
Yeah, they've made their way through, and they'll certainly need to be at their best. London to a brick, Oscar Bonavina, they come up with those second line gates with the ODM embargo against them. So, but they're there, and they're both more than capable enough of winning this final. It really is intriguing, just the early mechanics of it, how RC Phoenix gets away from the gate. Bob Butt has said that he's got superior speed, he can get forward, and then Parisian Artiste, super last week, and great drive. Taylor French just summed it up perfectly. Once she was in front, just really controlled that race. So it really is an intriguing little contest, this one.
Okay, question for you both here. The start point for both finals, 3,157 metres. It's very rare that we see them, in particular mobile starts as well. Do you look at the start any different to a normal race, say if it was 2,138, because they're pretty much at the same starting point? Or do you sort of factor in some other sort of little possible scenarios here? Is it any different to a normal race in that starting sort of position?
I've treated it the same in the context of that the inside runners are clearly advantaged compared to those out in the wider gates. But we are racing here for $500,000, so I'm sure the Bet and Win camp would have one idea, and that is to get to the pegs whichever way possible early. So it'll be interesting if we do get that really solid tempo for the first 600 to 800. Geez, I can't wait to see the rest of the race with those quality customers out the back.
Yeah, and Connections, rightfully so, are talking tough with a lot of these runners. RC Phoenix, Chris Venozio thinks he can lead, and if he does, he's holding. Bob Butt stated that, he's still got a little bit of gear left there with Bet and Win at the start of a race, so he can drop down to a lower gear. Parisian RTs, they want to get forward, they want to be like last week, rolling along out in front. So I think it's going to generate some early problems here.
Yeah, well, you'd expect it, and it just depends how much they're prepared to spend in those early stages. Like you say, we don't race over this distance. I think there's one race a year normally over this trip here at Albion Park, and that's a standing start. So mobile start, it's all new territory. So I still think, like Ryan said, those inside horses get that advantage. It's the same starting point as the 21.38. Yeah, you just don't want to go chips in early. And for me, RC Phoenix, he's got enough speed to hold up. I think he can burrow through. I don't think they're wanting to be using too much. There is when I was putting this together, I was trying to work out exactly what would happen. I did have a school of thought that Constantinople just off the second line might be a little bit chancy. Some of his runs where he can be a little bit rough, he gets forward easily enough. But if they go hard enough, Bet and Win might just create that space to pop in behind RC Phoenix. So there is that at play, but outside of that, I think it's RC Phoenix in front. I think Big Not as promised has to roll the sleeves again, unfortunately. But he should run the trip really strong. If Constantinople does hold the back, he'll get the good trip. Not sure where that leaves Bet and Win if RC Phoenix holds up. Does he get shuffled back a little bit in the wash-up and have to lead up the 3 wide line? I'm not really sure. He could potentially be in the running line. What will be interesting, if the early tactics are a battle, the tactics at about the 800 when the runs start coming, that's those drivers back in the pack, they'll need to get that right.
Mm-hmm. In many ways, a bit like the Queensland Derby, a few of those key runners off the back row. So horses like Oscar Bonavina and Gus. I think the fact that Oscar Bonavina made this final field, there's a lot of drivers that are going to be looking over their shoulder, just looking for him because he's capable of just blowing this field away.
Yeah, and that being the case as well, I think someone like James Rattray, I think he'll make a mid-race move and get to the breeze earlier. I don't think if he's carting in Oscar and Gus, I think that spells recipe for disaster. So, yeah, that's the way I see it. And then, I love what they've done with Gus. All prep, they've just been building, driving him conservative, letting him run home. What does Pete McMullen do? The Minister of Speed, does he make a mid-race move this time? I'm hoping there's enough tempo that lure to do it is taken away from him and he just comes with one run.
You mentioned Parisian Artiste following that performance last week. He was stunning in so many ways. And you look back at the replay, he was pulling away from RC Phoenix. He was so strong through the line. Have they got it just perfectly timed that they've just peaked him and he's just getting better and better through this series?
Yeah, and his winning hopes are going to soar if he does get released. But if he makes a play and then he's off pegs, well then it's just infinitely harder, isn't it? So great final, great depth. And some of the long shots here, they've got a really sneaky blowout hope like a Love Gun and a Harry Stamper. They've got big engines, those horses, so great race.
Yeah, absolutely. So for you, Darren, I know you're keen on RC Phoenix. You were keen on him pre-series, so there's no reason to jump off, given that he's got barrier 1. It'll be fascinating to see how much better he is on the peg line here, because let's be honest, he's had horrible draws throughout the series and the heats, and he's shown that tendency to hang, but he's still been really brave all the way through the line. On the peg line, I think he's going to be a lot more comfortable there tomorrow night.
I agree, and I think that's probably why Chris is happy enough that he'll want to look at leading all the way because he'll know have a more comfortable horse in that position. So really looking forward to this. Like I said, tactically there's so much going on. The start, the middle, the distance, those back in the pack making their runs. It really will be a really really good contest and looking forward to it.
Does anyone expect Bet and Win to clean sweep this series? He's been good throughout the series. It was a lovely drive last week, a real gutsy drive to do what he did. Maybe that might be the difference, the fact that he was able to just conserve energy last week, didn't have that hard run being attacked out in front. If he wins tomorrow night, they'll look back and say, genius move.
Yeah, absolutely, he can clean sweep it without a shadow of a doubt. But it's a race with such good depth.
Yeah.
If it's find your positions, drop anchor, and a crawl, I'll be really disappointed.
Yeah. Who are you tipping?
I'm sticking fat with my little man Gus. I'm praying for tempo. I think he's a sort of a 1x3, 1x4 play here. Pray he gets it right and brings his best on the biggest stage of all. Oscar Bonavena, I think he gets his chance here. We know he's top shelf. If they have run along, I think he can power into the finish. Bet and Win, RC Phoenix. But you know what? I could have had 6 picks.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be amazing if Queensland has a winner of the Inter-Dominion trained in the estate and his name's Gus?
There's a bit of irony there, isn't there?
That's just so Queensland. So, yeah, he's a terrific chance. Darren, you're sticking solid with RC Phoenix.
Yeah, I do think that fence line draw, it'll make all the difference for him. And, yeah, like I said, I've been on him from the start. Gate 1, no reason to. I think Gus will run a really big race. Like Ryan said, just no rush of blood.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to tip RC Phoenix as well. I think barrier 1, he just gets every opportunity, and I think he'll be a lot more comfortable on the inside compared to what he's shown in the other 2 runs so far during this series. I love what Parisian Artiste did last week. He can really take it up to everything in this race. Bet and Win, I would love to see him continue this dream run here. He's unbeaten at the track and he's been so good. And Oscar Bonavena, if he gets it right, like I said, I think he's capable of just blowing this field away. There's many other chances. You can't tip them all. I think this is going to be a cracking race. 8:30 is start time. This is the $500,000 Inter-Dominion Trotting Championship Grand Final, and it's going to go over the long journey of 3,157 metres. The $1 million Inter-Dominion Pacing Grand Final is race number 8. It's the last leg of the quaddie coming through on Saturday night. Leap to Fame, the superstar that he is, has barrier 1. Will he or won't he lead from that inside draw over the marathon trip? Looking for another clean sweep. He did this 18 months ago. Traditional format back then, 3 heats in the final. This year's series, 2 heats in the final. But he's the horse that they've all got to beat. And if he wins, he will surpass Black's a Fake, I'm the Mighty Quinn and Lazarus as the all-time money earner in this part of the world. So there is a lot at stake. Ryan, barrier 1, Leap to Fame. Yay or nay, he's in front. Is the Pegs the spot to be here? Is Pegs Gold at Albion Park? How do we look at this final?
All of the above, Chris. I'm quietly confident that he can burrow through and lead here. I've got a few reference points. We know that the 2100 metre start, it certainly is easier to hold up from the inside compared to the mile start. In the Cranbourne Cup of this year, we saw MacDan cross him, drawn right beside, but MacDan really had the red line to get over when Larry was asked to come out as hard as he could. And for me, Rakiro Rebel, Speak the Truth, See Your Art, I don't think they're as quick as MacDan, so Grant's going to have one mission here, get him out of the gate as fast as he can, hold up, put him to the sword.
Okay. With horses like Rakiro Rebel and Speak the Truth, sandwiched in between Leap to Fame and See Your Art, See Your Art was able to leave Leap to Fame in that Lucky Creed race a month ago or 3 weeks ago. Does he get enough protection from those horses to just do enough to boot through and hold them all deep?
Well, interesting to hear in media this week that Rakiro Rebel's not going to blast the arm. And I think that makes perfect sense from the point of view is number 1 goal is to run the trip there. So I think that's wise tactics. Especially drawn right beside Leap to Fame. So for me, that's tick. Is Speak the Truth quick enough to cross Larry? I don't think so. Could See You Art cross him? Well, we did see it, but for mine, Grant came out in neutral in the Lucky Creed. Here he's going to hustle. So I'm really quietly confident he's going to do enough to hold, and everyone's going to want to try and find the pegs behind him. Yeah,
that's prime real estate, isn't it? Who's ever on the back of Leap to Fame, that is just prime real estate.
It's probably can't say enough of how important that will be. And I just know that the last 1200 here, we're going to see 27, 27, 27, and it's going to be,
smoke show.
Yeah.
Darren, that Lucky Creed race that I just referenced, Ryan's just referenced the Cranbourne Cup. How many times have you gone back and looked at that replay, just the start of that race, to see how easily Sea Art was able to get across and how Grant drove Leap to Fame getting off the gate in that race? And is it just a case now where it's a different ball game altogether? The fact that Grant knows exactly how much gate speed Sea Art's got, he knows what's coming at the start of this race.
Yeah, I think that's the case, because gate 1, he'll be able to really burrow through knowing that he's coming, even if he generates enough early sort of gap to start drifting up and to get straight back around him. So, yeah, I've got some concerns about Sea Art. It was the 2100 start where he blasted off. He was wider on the track that night. While he's got the speed there to get across, I'm just a little bit cautious as to whether that's what happens.
Okay, I'll ask you the question that I asked Ryan. Does he get enough protection through Rakiro, Rebel and Speak the Truth to just do enough to boot through and hold them all deep?
He's certainly going to get it. James Herbertson's pretty much said as much during the week that he won't be trying to get across him. He'll just be content to hold his position to the outside, and more than anything not get shunted wider or hold a running line spot, which makes perfect sense, because you got to run 3100 here. It's not it's at one full extra lap than the 2100. So yeah, I just thought Speak the Truth might come out a bit harder than both of those. So
okay, well, that's my next question, because Ryan's sort of hinting against it. You think Speak the Truth might be a chance of clearing?
Or he could potentially get across if they go hard early.
They're certainly going to have a dip, aren't they? Like, N. Dawson goes on, he's such a great gate driver. I think they're going to be chips in to see what happens. But I think that the bend into the first turn is going to come up awful quick.
Okay. It probably helps too, knowing that they've got a stablemate off the second row. Maybe.
Yeah. I always come back to, though, the faster they go, the better for Leap to Fame.
Yeah.
So, bring it on.
How nervous do you think the connections of Nyack have been this week? Like, they would be sweating on a scratching, not wishing any ill luck or any ill feeling to any other connections, but the fact that he's got that spot directly behind Leap to Fame, good spot to beat. Captain's Knock will take it if Nyack doesn't get into this field on Saturday night. So, Captain's Knock, any concern about him holding the back of Leap to Fame?
Zero.
Darren?
No, well, if he'll be on his back, it just depends what happens at the start, where Leap to Fame positions.
Whether his leader's back or...
Yeah, three fence if something comes around. So
and three fence is still going to be a great spot here. Regardless of if Larry does get crossed, it's still 3 and 4 fence. Those horses are going to get their chance here.
Yeah. Given what you just said, it's going to be 27, 27, 27 the last 1200. So there'll be some tired horses here if you're off the fence, put it that way, and he's out in front and rolling and dropping those sort of numbers.
My question for you guys is, who's at the breeze at the bell?
Well, I would say Speak the Truth. That would be my answer.
Yeah, potentially thought maybe one of those backliners makes an early move, and for me, it was Max Delight.
What does Luke McCarthy do with Don Hugo? He's the defending champ. He got crunched last week. What does he do from 6? Is he going forward? I'm not saying he's going to spear him off the gate, but does he just try and float forward? Is he going back? And Kate Gath, is it just going to be rinse and repeat again, just going all the way back and hopefully trying to track up or cut through the middle?
I think they have to.
Yeah.
If they go forward and it goes wrong and they're 4 and 5 deep into that first turn, it's race over. I thought Luke could be the one perhaps to go back, just let it all unfold and then get around them at the right time. So for me, I thought Don might be the one breezing at the bell.
Yeah. Okay. It's not going to be an easy drive for Luke tomorrow night or on Saturday night.
No, not from 6, that's for sure. It's if you talk about him floating across, he's relying on Sea Art and Pete Said So both doing the same, really. Otherwise, he's going to have to get ahead of them to float across. So unless they just straight back, but we're talking about Sea Art going forward. I don't know. I'd leap to fame in front at some point, whether it's off the arm, whether it's at the 2600, whether it's at the 2100. Either way, he's in front and he wins.
Here's a question for you. You take Leap to Fame out of this race and they're lining up in that barrier draw order. Who starts favourite?
Oh, great question. I'll need more time to think about that.
Okay, you think about that. I'll pose a question to you. Pete said so. This is his 4th straight Inter-Dominion Pacing Grand Final. 6.86 are his results so far. Can he finish top 5 in 2025?
Yeah, he can. He's going pretty good. His first round was good. He was hitting the line good last week. Unlucky Redcliffe Cup sort of in the lead up. So yeah, he certainly can.
Okay. Got an answer yet?
$5 the field there, Chris, I think.
Okay, so let's have a look at your speed map. So a lap left to run, Inter-Dominion Grand Final, Leap to Fame's in front?
Yeah, I think he is. And it comes back to speak the truth. I think he can get forward, and whether it's a retake, push out, I'm not sure. I think he can get up there, and I think Max Delight or Don Hugo are probably the two that are, flinch early and move around. If Don's got to cart that 3 wide train home, well, he's going to need every bit of Luke McCarthy magic in the past 7 days to recover from last week. So, but I have the faith that he can. I think they fill their slots thereafter. I think Captain's Knock then's probably 3 fence if Speak the Truth gets there first. Tim's a Trooper can probably dart down there as well.
Okay. Ryan, if that speed map plays out, I reckon Connections of Speak the Truth would be doing cartwheels.
They would.
He does not miss top 3 if he's behind Leap to Fame.
Yep. Take it to the bank.
Yeah.
That would be ideal scenario there, I thought, for Connections of Speak the Truth, yeah. And it's an absolutely live scenario of playing out for sure.
Is there some good place bets that you're looking at in this race?
Yeah, I'm so bullish Captain's Knock. I love what he's done this series. Look, his 2 starts at Menangle pre-series. I was really wondering where he was, but Brad had been over in Europe with the trotter and doing those things, and he's just turned him round. The night 1 run from the breeze was extraordinary. Luke gave Don Hugo a masterclass of lobbing in the 1-1 from the back row, and he still only just got past Captain's Knock. So for me, I took out of that it was all Captain's Knock. So for me, I don't understand the betting here.
Okay. So a good place bet there, Captain's Knock. Is there any sort of value place bet for you here?
I'd be Captain's Knock as well, and we talk about Nyack. If he were to get a start, it's the same scenario then because he's on that fence draw. So you don't wish ill on any Connections here and hope that we get the field that we have there. So outside of that, you could probably throw in Tim's a Trooper for a sneaky place hope, because if he gets to that 4 fence position, this field will bust up at some point.
Great opportunity for a young man, 18 years of age, Jack Chappell, driving in a $1 million Inter-Dominion Grand Final. So we wish him all the very best of luck. Your selections for the big one tomorrow night?
1, Leap to Fame on top. I'll probably cop some slagging here from your fellow panel members. Don Hugo for 2nd. I think Max Delight will run a race 12, sure thing, Captain. 1, 6, 11, 12.
You haven't got Captain's Knock in your top 4. Jeez. Ryan?
Yeah, the champ on top. I think we're going to see an extra special performance here, Chris.
Yeah.
Let's see him lead him up. I want to see the grandstand roar this horse home like never before. Captain's Knock, I think he's going to get a dream trip, and if he gets that, geez, he's definitely running top 3. The old boy Max Delight, I thought maybe he could be 4 pegs if it plays out. That'd be a very, very astute drive from Will to head that way. And Tim's a Trooper. Yeah, he's had a great carnival, and young Jack Chappell gets the drive, and for me, pegs, pegs, pegs.
Yeah, I'm going pretty much the same. 1, 9, 11. And I'll put in Catch a Wave as a value first 4 hope from the wide draw. But I think it could be really special scenes at Albion Park on Saturday night. If he races clear up the home stretch and achieves that feat of becoming the richest pacer of all time in this part of the world on his home track, I think it could be quite memorable in so many ways. So that is the Inter-Dominion Pacing Grand Final. It's race number 8. 9:10 is start time. Make sure you're tuned in for that one. Time now to find all the good things for this big program. 10 races. We kick off at 5 o'clock, and I think it's a fantastic betting meeting tomorrow night. We've got all these feature horses, all these feature races, a little bit of value, a couple of obvious ones there. Leap to Fame, I Keep Smiling, they certainly stand out. Captain's Mistress you can throw into the mix. I think there's going to be a lot of multi-action across this 10-race program. If you are gambling this weekend, please do so responsibly. I'll throw it over to you, Darren Clayton. Your dashboard. What have you come up with? Who's the driver to follow and why?
Yeah, well, I think Pete McMullen's the driver to follow. He gets a couple of good drives. The Janitor, he can bounce back. Whisperer's Secret, he's been a sticking point this carnival. I think he can bounce back again tomorrow night. Arrive, tough ask from gate 12 in the Oaks. Gus, can the little bulldog get there? So Pete's got a good book, so we'll go with him. There's all the information there, and that's available via this video or via the socials.
Okay. I reckon there's a few other drivers you could have easily picked there. There's a couple of drivers that have got strong hands.
Yeah, Grant Dixon being one of those.
Nathan Dawson.
Nathan Dawson could have been a featuring driver, but yeah, there's quite a few.
Okay, Ryan, it's your time to shine here. Your best bet tomorrow night, Inter-Dominion Grand Final night 2025. Drum roll, please.
Saving the best till last, Chris. There's now Shane Graham, trained ex-Kiwi Strike'em. He was super in the Derby qualifier. I haven't seen too many better runs lately. He drew the back row 5, made a mid-race move, took 1-1 cover, and then he still had the audacity and super quick time to smash the line. So yeah, they went up black odds. He's into $1.60-ish. I think he'll start 2s on. Very hard to beat for mine.
Yeah, I'm really keen on him too. I thought he was extraordinary last week. Bad draw, fast time, fast last half. Attacked the line, there was a lot to like. Stiff not to be in the big one itself, so I think he takes the Constellation. Darren, your best bet?
Yeah, race 1 in the junior drivers, Skylord.
Okay.
Yeah, I've copped as much grief about that as Don Hugo's selection, so let's stick with the theme. Yeah, he's had some tough gates and chasing home against tempo where it just hasn't worked out for him. I think he can get across here, and if Go-Kart can get him to the front.
Okay. Ryan, your quaddie.
Yeah, in the Derby, Hesitate, Rubira, Mac Bond, the stablemate, who I think is a sneaky chance of rolling to the top, and Jack's Ultimate Fury. We'll roll that into the $1.20 pop. I Keep Smiling. In the trot final, we're going wide. RC Phoenix, Bet and Win, Oscar Bonavina, and Gus, and we'll roll it into the champ in the last leg.
Okay. My numbers are very similar with the quaddie. I've got the extra horse in the Derby, that being Fade Away, so 1, 3, 7, 9, 10. 2 only, I Keep Smiling. Pretty much the same numbers in the trot. I'm going to throw in Harry Stamper as a complete roughie there, and we're bringing it home with Leap to Fame in the Inter-Dominion, $30 for 100%. Darren, your quaddie?
Yeah, so first leg 1, 8, 9, 10, 13. Just a little bit wider there. Throw in Final Deadline if he gets that spot behind Hesitate. Throwing in Tay and Steno, just if there is an upset in that mares race, and then wide again in the Trotters final into Larry, the one and only champion that he is.
Okay, so they're our best bets and quaddie thoughts for tomorrow night's big card. Make sure you're checking out all of the action there for this wonderful night of racing. 10 races, 5 o'clock start time. Gents, it's been an absolute pleasure over the past couple of weeks. I wish you all the very best of luck tomorrow night. Hopefully you're on the right side of the ledger, and hopefully we get that right result with Leap to Fame. If he can bring this one home, I think it's going to be a great night, a special night. See you trackside.
Yeah, hopefully the crowd's big, sees the champion.
Yep, absolutely. We'll see you trackside Albion Park, Saturday night, 10 races, the final night of the Constellations. It's Inter-Dominion Grand Final night.